Now, what does this mean for tomorrow's election? Former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich, he joins us now with more. Not our first rodeo. What's your take? Where are we tonight? I would say going into tomorrow, early voting shows Kamala has a little bit of a math problem. Turnout, enthusiasm, not what Democrats had hoped for or expected, which means they would need a much higher than usual turnout on Election Day for them to catch up, which is a rare position for Republicans to be in. But, you know, does that stand? And if you're enthusiastic about Kamala, why didn't you vote for her early?
Well, look, I think a couple of things are going on. First of all, this is not the traditional Republican Party. I don't remember Hulk Hogan ever being at a traditional Republican event. You have, of course, people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. This is a really broad coalition who've come together with Donald J. Trump as their leader. So I think we're looking at a totally different kind of situation. I would say to everybody who's watching, make sure you vote and make sure everyone you know votes. If we get our vote out tomorrow, Trump will be the next president, and we'll know it pretty early. If everybody goes out to vote tomorrow, we'll probably know by Wednesday morning that he is the next president. Things like Joe Rogan's endorsement. What's Rogan going to do? Kamala didn't have the courage to go on his show. She couldn't have stood up for 3 hours of questions. I mean, that by itself is an indication of what our choice is here. And I think, and by the way, I thought that your introduction and your monologue was excellent. She has two problems. She is way too radical in a way that's totally out of touch with reality, and she's incompetent. Now, if you're both out of touch with reality and you're incompetent, that's a pretty big burden to put on the country and a pretty big risk for the whole planet. We live in a dangerous world. I can't imagine Kamala Harris wrestling with nuclear war, wrestling with problems in Ukraine or Gaza or Iran or Venezuela or Cuba. I mean, she really would be a disaster for the country. My sense is that Trump, by just sheer constant energy, is getting there. I watched him in Pittsburgh tonight. I thought he was terrific. And I think that just his energy level of going to 4 different events on the last day tells you something. This is a guy who wants to save the country, and he increasingly, I think, understands that it's a we project. We are all going to collectively save the country. He is our leader, but it's going to take all of us to get it done.
It really does. When you think about it, I mean, early voting numbers, anecdotally, you know, certainly there's a little cause for optimism for Republicans, but you can't take it to the bank when half the American people have not voted, and they will vote tomorrow. One of the things that has frustrated me in this whole process is a lot of what I played in my opening monologue, maybe a lot of Americans haven't seen because the media has pretty much buried that on her behalf, which is their campaign contribution to her. However, I do think that it has begun to penetrate into the consciousness of American voters. Do you think most people understand how radical she is, and that really that's the reason she can't answer questions?
Look, I think that Trump's formulation years ago of fake news really set the stage for a dramatic shrinking of the importance of the propaganda media, which had so thoroughly defined the country and had told the rest of us what we were allowed to think. They've now gotten hysterical. They've gone way beyond just being fake news. They're now hysterically fake news, and they write things that are crazy. It's clear that they are totally trying to prop her up. And my guess is if she didn't have the full weight of the propaganda media, that she would be 10 points weaker than she is right now, and Trump would be on the verge of a 60 or 62 or 63% victory. They have done everything they could to prop her up. They've done everything they could since 2015, for 9 years, to destroy Trump. He is still standing. He's still saying fight, and he is the most iconic political leader in America, I think, in my lifetime. It's remarkable to watch what he's doing.
It really is. All right, Mr. Speaker, we'll be watching. We'll be, of course, part of Fox's coverage tomorrow night. Speaker Gingrich, always good to see you.